good.
All right, so show us the cookies again, Brittany. Oh, and we literally mean cookies. Y'all don't try to cancel me like Diddy. I literally mean chocolate chip cookies.
All right, this is a shameless plug, and no, they did not pay me to do this. I just love them. So Tiff's Treats, it's definitely in Atlanta. They have a few locations, and they deliver. My cookies just got here. That's why we was like, y'all had to make sure I answer my front desk for the cookies. But y'all, I got the chocolate chip ones. Look how they're just like breaking, and oh my god,
gooey.
so
Are they gooey, Brittany?
They're so
are they
good.
gooey? You gotta take a bite, man. Like you did all that. Like you gotta. There you go.
Y'all, these cookies are so good.
Remind me of a couple ladies I know. I'll tell you. And on that note, let's get started.
I'm not saying I'm going to rule the world or I'm going to change the world, but I guarantee that I will spark the brain that will change the world, and that's our job.
And that is our job.
You have to make What up,
Kickback, JB, what's the name of the podcast?
It's a pod named Kickback. A pod named Kickback. It's like a Tribe Called Quest.
You say the whole thing. Welcome back to the almighty A Pod Named Kickback. Avengers have assembled. You know what I'm saying? And what's today's day? You know, I'm gonna stamp this January 21st, 2024. We are here. I am No Breaks New, the righteous ratchet. If you throw it, I'll catch it. If you got it, I'll match it. Each and every week, we right back at it. I am the Black Savage, the Magneto of my people. And I want to introduce, we got a full house tonight. I'm gonna introduce some familiar faces. Always starting with the ladies, we have the amazing corporate black girl, Brittany Sade. Where my round of applause for Brittany? Because she bought them cookies today. Them cookies look good.
They are.
All right. And we also have my right hand foot. Can you say the right hand, left hand, whatever he is? Give it up for J. Lou. Come on, round of applause. And last but not least, we got my big cuz who has started the Man Up podcast. We got Randy T in the damn building. Hey, question: Do you still call people your big cousin if y'all like in y'all 40s and shit, or do you just say cousin? Do you still say big cousin or big brother? Do you still do that?
I'm still your big cousin, man. All right. Don't make me throw you in the bushes like I did our other little cousin to prove it.
That's why I ain't speaking to you now. So I throw people in the bushes. All right. So guys, I think this is gonna be a great show. We're gonna talk about some very important things. Me and J. Lou and Brittany had actually talked about this offline, individually, about me wanting to do more ideas. I wanted to get more into ideas instead of just topics. And I would do that every now and then, but I would make it like a special episode. And instead of doing a special episode, I wanted to make sure every week we got a chance to discuss these ideas. I'm getting a little bit of feedback. Anybody got their volume up? It's a little bit of feedback. But I definitely want to say I'm happy that we're doing this episode. The theme of this episode is Man Up for 2024. And people might go, Man Up? He got Brittany on the show. Yeah, we need a lady around to keep us in check and make sure we manning up and we're hitting those guidelines. Ain't that right, Britt?
That is absolutely right. And I am the woman for the job. So thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So it's gonna be one of them, Lou. It's gonna be one of them.
Already.
But I want to start with so a lot of people, so they can get to know you guys, those that don't know you, because we got a whole different audience in here tonight. I want to start with our high and low of the week. And let's go ahead and get into that.
Now, high-low. Who wants to go first?
All right. Well, actually, you know what? Before we do the high-low, I want everybody to let's go around and just give the people a little bit of information about you. I feel like I skipped all of that. I introed myself and didn't get y'all to say who you are, where you from, what you do, and how you like your cookies. So, Miss Brittany, sorry, let's start with you.
Okay, who I am. I'm Brittany Sade, also known as the Corporate Black Girl. What I do, I'm a trusted financial advisor by day, but I'm also an advocate of self-love. I'm a girl's girl, but also an advocate of financial literacy and financial education. So you'll hear me talk about that a lot. And who I am, because who I am is not what I do. Well, actually, I'm just Brittany Sade. Y'all know me. I'm not going to keep doing this. I feel like I do an intro every single time. Y'all know who I am. For those of you who are new here, you'll get to know me by the end of this. But yeah, that's just a little bit about me.
All right. J. Lou, what it do?
J. Lou. Who am I? In the corporate world, I'm an insurance analyst. On my own, I've started my own agency, the JWL agency, auto, home, life, business, all that good stuff in Georgia. JWLagency.com to follow me. I'm a father, a son, a brother to a lot of sisters and a lot of cousins who think that I'm their brother. So I try to be in that mid tier as far as my perspectives, making sure I'm respecting them and also kind of provide feedback on that way.
There it is, Randy T.
Hey, it's Randy T, Mr. Man Up Monday, man up all day, every day. So what I do, by profession, I am a personal risk advisor, like J. Lou, New Breaks, we all in the same thing. Brittany, we all in the same circle. But other than that, like I'm living man up all day, every day, trying to help real men find real manhood, because there's been so many false ideologies that so many of us have grown up not knowing what it is to be a man, and generationally, like we search for it and then we suffer for lack of finding it. And that's my lane, to help all real men find real manhood.
I like it. I need to introduce myself too. I'm new. I be selling insurance and shit sometimes. I be doing a podcast sometimes, and I'm single and I like long walks along the beach. I'm like,
not along the beach.
A long walk on the beach.
Along the beach. Okay.
Oh man. And shout out to our sponsor. Shout out Mo's Marvelous Cleaning. If you need to get your home clean, you need to get your house clean, you need to get your job office clean. You had a one night stand and your wife was coming home in the morning, you need to get rid of the evidence. You all at mosmarvelouscleaning.com. Use code kickbackers and you get 10% off, man. I'm trying to help you out. And if when you had that one night stand, you needed some extra toys or something to kind of get things right, then go to mysexroom.net, use code kickbackers. 10% off of everything. Now, having said that, high low. Who want to go first? Well, I tell you what, I go first. High and low of the week. My high was I went to a conference with my insurance agency in Orlando last week, and it was a great feeling. It was exhilarating. It almost felt like you was in some kind of what do you call them? The MLMs, where everybody gets you hype and they got the guest speakers and everybody coming through and you guys can do it. It's got me hype. I won a couple dollars doing this event for my achievement throughout the year. Montel Jordan was shouting us out. He did some little video thing and just getting to really meet everybody and know everybody. And I take me wherever I go. I'm me wherever I go, wherever. So everybody called me No Breaks did. And when I won my award, everybody was like, no breaks. And I'm like, you would think like this motherfucker. But like, I'm me wherever I go. And it's cool to be appreciated even in corporate circles for being me. That was my high. My low, had all that energy, all that hypeness, I came back and did not have the week I wanted. I had a decent week, but when I leave this conference, I'm gonna have my best week ever. And at the end of the week, I was fired up, and I had a decent week. I'm like, damn, I really wanted to knock it out the park that first week. So that was probably my low. Didn't hit the numbers I wanted, but still hit some numbers, still on the board. What about you, Britt?
So my low kind of turned into a high. So I'll start with the low. So right after New Year, probably about the second or third, I had water in my floor, and I'm like, what's going on? Long story short, my water heater broke. And like a janky repair from the previous owner, and it was doing like a slow leak thing. Didn't know it, but eventually, like now it's coming through the floor. So called a plumber. I've got home warranty, so I'm like, oh, I've got home warranty, all good, right? So call the plumber. Plumber gets here. He's able to like fix the issue, but I have no water. So no water, thank God for my boo. I had somewhere to go, but called home warranty or whatever, American Home Shield, by the way. And I'm like, okay, they're gonna fix everything. So I spent a whole day. So let's just say that happened like Wednesday, Thursday. Spent all day Friday trying to find a plumber that not only could come out, but could work on condos. A lot of plumbers in Atlanta don't work in high-rise buildings. So I'm like calling American Home Shield, like, hey guys, before you start like connecting me to plumbers, can you guys please make sure they actually work on high rises? So after 6 tries, finally got someone in. Temporary repair. Now we're going into the weekend. Nobody really works on weekends unless it's an emergency. So Monday comes, going back and forth with home warranty because home warranty sucks, by the way.
Okay.
They paid for like this much of it because everything else is not covered under the policy. So I would say that you're better off saving, just having money set aside, that money that you would be paying on a home warranty. Just set that money aside and use that as your maintenance fund. I don't feel like home warranties are I no longer feel like they are a good thing because this was my first time having to use it. So finally, I'm like, okay, they call me back. I'm getting my, hot water heater. This was last week, by the way. And they're just like, okay, well, the soonest time we can come is Wednesday. Like, I guess that was like the 11th. Let's just say Wednesday, the 11th. I'm like, oh, so you mean like next Wednesday? They're like, yeah. So we get here Wednesday of this week, and he comes in, he fixes it. I'm like, great. I had a meeting, went ahead, took a meeting from home. I was about to head into the office, go in the bathroom to wash my hands. All of a sudden, I hear a really loud noise and water's like spraying everywhere. So he had to end up coming back to fix it. I will say that the plumbers, JR Plumbing, they were great. They weren't my issue. It was American Home Shield, but he ended up coming back, fixing the issue for me. He actually fixed the sprayer on my sink too. He must have had to like do something with my sink because in between like fixing, I had to leave. Like I wasn't able to be here because of work and meetings and stuff like that. But shout out to JR Plumbing who got me together. And I say that like, obviously that was my low because now I have to figure out how to fix my floors, do, remediation to like walls and stuff because they had to come in and dry out everything. But then on Saturday, this past Saturday, hashtag lunch bag ATL, shout out to the chapter. We feed the homeless every third Saturday of the month. And so as you guys know, Saturday it was freezing outside. And so I was able to really just kind of come into a situation where I had to humble myself because yes, woe is me. I did not have hot water. Yes, I have to fix things in my condo, but at the end of the day, at least I have shelter. At least I have the ability to fix my hot water heater and now have hot water because there are people out there who are in a much worse situation and they're, not complaining. So it was a moment where it was rough for me, but I also had to understand, like, thank God I had the means to correct everything. I have hot water now. But the saga continues with fixing everything else. So sorry to make a long story long, but that was like my high low of the week.
Okay, and that was a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I hope everything goes well with the floor. If any flooring, constructional, wall repair people listening,
I got you, Brittany. We talk offline. I got some stuff for you to help you with the condo and all that water detection. I'm a personal risk manager, and condos. The number one loss of condos is water loss.
Oh yeah.
It's some stuff. It's some stuff that you can get with not only lowered, will get your homeowners discount lowered.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk.
Okay,
Let's
cool.
talk.
Thank
That's
you.
what I do.
Boom. J. Lou, talk to us. Hello.
Hello. What's the low? I got a lot of stuff I got to do around the house. Like I got to. I told you I started my deck, so I did the main part of my deck. So I got to do the stairs and the rails. I'm gonna have to recreate some stuff. I was hoping I just had to take the stairs off and replace it. So that's a little headache. Then just household stuff. So you wash a whole bunch of clothes you got folded up, getting all ready for the week.
I don't fold them. I let them next to me like a girlfriend. Call it laundry bay.
What I got? My goals is in play. Like I told you, the workout goals. I've been hitting that heavy with the watch. Marketing, that was big on my list. So I got my lead programs and stuff like that is jumping into play next week. So the goals is moving towards. I'm able to check off the stuff off the calendar.
Good shit, man. Good shit. Randy T, talk to us.
All right, now I'm gonna have to rebut Brittany on the home warranty thing. My story is my low is the same, and guess what? I got American Home Shield too. My low was my sump pump went out like a week ago.
They said 2 weeks.
Right. And so and look, while we having a monsoon and snowstorms, right? And they tell me I need to unplug it because while I was in there, it keep tripping my dishwasher and the man cave. Like it long as it's plugged in, they got it on the same circuit breaker. I'll just tell you, anybody, if you buying Orion Homes, don't do it. Don't do it. They are the worst builders out there. If you're looking at Orion's home, look somewhere else. But anyway, back to American Home Shield. Right. So I called them, and this is my third time using them, Brittany. I can give you 2 more stories, but I was pissed at them for one, because when I call them and they tell me I need to unplug the sump pump, but they don't have anybody that can come out for a week. So I'm like, but they's like, you could call a plumber and we'll reimburse you. I'm like, no, I don't want to be reimbursed. I pay y'all monthly, so I don't have to be reimbursed. Like this is why. I've got the highest. I got platinum coverage. So no, if I'm platinum, treat me like Diddy. Come fix my shit, right? And they was like, no, we will. Somebody be there in a week. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna cancel. Like, y'all not getting my deposit if ain't nobody coming for a week. So I called. But anyhow, a week later they came. They had to replace the whole sump pump. He tell me the pump is bad. I gotta replace it. I paid my deposit. He replaced the sump pump, put it in there, $125 pay my deductible. We working. I'm in business. So look, I had to wait. You know what I mean? Thankfully, it wasn't nothing bad happened. Didn't get overflowed with all the snow and the rain. I was just blessed and lucky, honestly, man. I'm just thanking God that nothing bad happened between that time. Because I was looking, we had some rainy days. I got 6 inches in my yard like right now. So it was a scary time between that. But again, they came, they fixed it, and all is well. All is well. Right. And so my high, that was my low and a high. My other high, I went to a networking group last week, was a couple of days ago. It was a network, it was for realtors, right? A networking group. And I was the only private risk manager that showed up there. Everybody else sell houses. I'm the only person there that want to manage y'all stuff. So do you know the type of contacts that I've made that like I got stuff set up, meetings. I've got 3 meetings on the calendar and already some in the future down the road with some people renewing on some things. We talking about it was stuff that they just brought up, and it was like, all right, I hear risk every time somebody open their mouth. Like that's what I do. And I saw one problem for a guy who had a condo like you, Brittany, with some problems, and heard it, told him like, look, this is what you do. After that, like 20 business cards, everybody in my work inbox, but by the time I got to work the next day, right? So that was my high. Networking pays off.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. And yeah, I'm just sitting there, I'm listening to everybody put on a little Brittany's face. Brittany has had a different expression for every individual word everybody has said. Yo, if y'all not watching on YouTube and you listening on Apple or Spotify, go to the damn YouTube, yeah. When you hear this and listen to that whole high-low segment and watch Brittany face. Every time Brittany says something good about Home Shield.
See, like I don't.
That's the face.
I am very demonstrative. Like my face will give it away, even if I say something nice. If you look at my face, you're gonna know whether I'm lying or not. Because I'm glad it worked out for you, Randy.
Yeah, she's like, that wasn't my experience.
Oh man.
I came out of pocket way more than 125 for my hot water heater. Let me tell you, they covered a little something though, but it wasn't what I paid for. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean the sump pump was $800 if I had to pay that out of pocket, right? Yeah.
Oh, hey man, you gotta find it somebody else to find it. Went on Amazon, got my sump pump, and put it in there downstairs. We was good.
Yeah. See, you want. I can tell, Jay, you want them dudes. You building your deck like you just handy. You do stuff. I'm not. I'm not.
Builder.
I want them dudes that I'm calling somebody. Like, who does this?
This is all 6 months old. When you start watching YouTube, you're like, you know what? And then the wrong person come look at you like, hold up, I know I'm smarter than this dude. Let me just.
That's all it takes.
I'm gonna do it a weekend. I'm like, look, let me see if I real quick. If not, I'm all right with paying an extra couple $100 if I mess it up. But I gotta mess it up.
Yeah. See, I need somebody like you in my circle led by me. So when I want to build the deck, I'd be like, come over, let's get a 12 pack and make it work.
Cognac. Gotta be cognac though.
Gotta be the yak. But shout out to everybody in the comments, man. I see some of our regulars. What up, Burger? But I see some new faces. What up, cuz? I see the family in here. What up, everybody?
Okay, yeah, I see Trina. Yeah.
And
so in the comments.
What you say?
Oh yeah, that's the whole family there. Let me shout out. I see my Meek, all our family there. Meek, Trina, Tina.
Oh, I see him. Okay.
You see him there?
All right. Yeah. I see you, Josh. I see you, babe.
So what we're gonna do is let's get into our viral story of the week, and then we'll get this podcast moving. And this is a lot. And Randy mentioned him earlier, but I don't know if you want to be treated like him.
My left stroke just went viral.
Our viral story of the week, Brother Love, Sean Diddy Combs, has accumulated a few more losses. Diageo, who he was suing for racial discrimination with the way that they were marketing and or the lack of marketing for Deleon, the lack of resources. He dropped his lawsuit against them, and he ultimately relinquished control of Ciroc and Deleon back to Diageo. So he no longer owns any of Ciroc or any of Deleon. And I don't want to make this like I feel sorry for him, because if he did all this crazy shit, I don't feel sorry for you, though. Like, what the fuck is your problem? Treating people this way. But it is very noteworthy to say that this is one of the first hip-hop billionaires. This is the dude that influenced the culture for a multitude of decades. This is the dude that invented the remix, and it is all coming crashing down. And I can't say it's not well-deserved. I can't say that, but it is noteworthy to know, like, wow, to really watch someone's fall from grace, if you will. We haven't had that in hip-hop. Maybe you could say R. Kelly, but like Diddy was a billionaire. You know, you can say Kanye, but Kanye still is. Well, I don't know if he's a billionaire anymore. He take Deleon and Ciroc and like he's losing Revolt. He had to step down from Revolt. Like, he's losing everything. And I just think it's noteworthy to speak. I don't want to act like it's a good thing or a bad thing. I just think it's very noteworthy. Britt, what you think?
You know, I think that there is a certain point in time where if you're not moving correctly, things will come crashing down. So it's either one or two things, right? Either this is something that's so unfortunate, woe is Diddy, or this is just a consequence of you thinking that you are above our creator and that you can get away with doing things your own way, whatever that may be, because there are stipulations, there are things that have come out that we have proof about. You know, I'm one of those people that I'm like, if I don't know the full facts, I don't want to necessarily make a statement. But I will say that there are consequences for your actions, whether it be immediate or years down the line. And so there is a possibility that Diddy is getting what he deserves. And that's just how it shall be. Nobody is above it. Nobody's above their karma. So.
Ooh, I like that. Nobody. Let's type that in and get that on the screen. Nobody.
Yeah, tweet that. Tweet
above
that.
their karma. What's this hyphen? Brittany. Oh,
look. Well, while you typing, I'm gonna go ahead and jump in on this one.
Yeah.
Then. Hey, so I'm where I'm at with that, like with Diddy and us and New, you know, from the DMV, right? Like Diddy, we remember back when he was throwing parties at Howard, and he used to. And so he did dirty stuff from the beginning. He used to oversell all the parties at Howard University every year, and it's 300 people out there that can't get in, but they bought tickets, right? And I have a motto that the bill always comes due. It don't whatever you do. If you planting wrong, the bill is gonna come due one of the day. Now, where I'm conflicted at, that I feel like they always want to destroy our heroes, right? Like they did it with Bill Cosby, they did it with R. Kelly, like, but so, and we got all these documentaries out, like, you know, surviving R. Kelly. Like, when we gonna talk about surviving the Catholic Church or surviving the Boy Scouts? Like, you know, like all of this stuff. And I feel like everybody who's cemented, like who means something like in our culture, that have made a difference. And, you know, it's unfortunate that his bill catching up with him, but at the same time, it's always an agenda to take down our heroes, right? Now, he made it easy for him doing the stuff that he did, right? Doing the stuff that he did, but still, why is it not a focus on, like, we hear the Vatican all the time, like somebody get molested in the Catholic Church, they send him back to the Vatican and he still got a job. We just, like, he's still a bishop. You know what I mean? He still has his position. He just can't be in the church no more. Still got his salary. Ain't going to jail because the Vatican is their own country, right? Like, they rule themselves. But we don't talk about that, right? We just talk about, like, what Diddy doing. And again, I'm with Brittany. Like, if he did it, the bill come due. You got to pay, right? You got to pay. And 50 been spraying him for a while, right? like 50 been saying that this was coming for a minute, and 50, like, but now 50 even, like, he don't even want to drop the stuff that he knows, right? Because he see that now it's an agenda. Yeah, he did some stuff wrong, but, like, just don't be part of the agenda. That's all I gotta say, right? Like, support. I'm gonna support you if you right. I'm not with you if you wrong, but I'm not with the agenda, because it's always an agenda to take down good black men and our black heroes. They did it with Bill Cosby, and then it's not gonna stop. Like, make them have the same accountability that they make us have. That's what I'm saying. So black people don't be the Me Too. Like, yeah, if they do it, they gonna Me Too it. We don't have to Me Too it.
Yeah, and getting one person Harvey Weinstein does not equate to everybody they've taken down. And I'm not saying anybody should get a pass. I'm just saying it should be equal treatment. You know what I'm saying? They don't they'll throw Harvey Weinstein. Well, they got Harvey Weinstein. That's one motherfucker. One. J. Lou.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I don't really care about the Catholic Church or Harvey Weinstein. I personally care about my people. In this perspective, because I think, unfortunately, what we do sometimes is we glorify celebrity. So I think this could be a sign for us to kind of look at who we put on the pedestal, and more importantly, why we put them on the pedestal. Like the names you mentioned, if we look at their lives, they probably didn't deserve to be on a pedestal. So we got a lot of great men every day to get up and do it the right way. So why we put a celebrity on, up on a pedestal with how they live and how we know they've lived for 20, 30, 40 years, it's embarrassing. And I think sometimes what we got to do is we got to look in the mirror and say, hey, why do we have them up there and why they shouldn't be up there? And I think when we do that, we'll compartmentalize it the right way. Like, I don't give a fuck what happened to him. So, like that's where I'm at. I understand about, I want the same way Tyrone want to be judged. I want Jeffrey to be judged. But whatever that judgment is, I don't care how, you know what I'm saying? That's how they get judged. Like that, you know, that's how I am for it. But yeah, I didn't hold none of them in high esteem. And I think we gotta look, we gotta start looking at the celebrity and how in our community sometimes we put celebrities on too high of a pedestal. We gotta look at morals and character, and values instead of value, which sometimes we kind of, you know,
that's a bar. That's a bar.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that part. We definitely idolize or very quick to, you know, make celebrities goals or listen to whatever information they're giving because we think that they somehow know more than what or beyond what they're there to do. And it is simply to entertain. But I also feel like a lot of times, like when we talk about the downfall of people or how they lose power, a lot of what gets taken away from people is what they hold most value on. A lot of people talked about Diddy's influence and his power and how he had that money. And now you're seeing that influence and that power as well as the money, because within the losing the power, you now having to make agreements, settlements, etc. He's kind of losing everything that he used to do what he was allegedly doing. And so it's just interesting to see that, you know, the same way that you will rise, you will also fall.
Oh, y'all got some bars today. God damn. I don't even have to say nothing. I'm gonna say church.
Preach.
And this is I'm really excited about this conversation that we're about to have. I don't even have a drop for this. Let me see if I can find it. If I can impromptu a drop. Let me see if I can make something up on the spot. What is this?
You having an unnatural allegiance to losers is not like you.
It's not like you. And we're going to talk to a lot of our men out here because it's not like you having this unnatural allegiance to losers or to losing. And as we get into our kickback conversation, when Randy first told me he was starting this podcast, he's been doing Man Up Monday for forever. But when he said he wanted to start his podcast, we talked about, you know, what it takes to start a podcast, but, you know, different tools and instruments you can use, how you market. We just had a really good conversation. And I said, you know what I want to do? Because I love his concept about, you know, man up, you know, being taking accountability. And I think that's lost in our community. I think it's lost across the board. But since I am a man, I pay a little bit more attention to when we don't do it. And I love the concept. I love the positive energy he was sending out every Monday. I'm part of his Facebook group. And I wanted to really have a conversation about it. And I said, look, let's do this. Let's take Man Up Monday and let's put it on a Pod Named Kickback. And let's have a real conversation. And I was like, J. Lou gonna be right there. I know he with it, you know what I'm saying? Because we have these conversations just in private. Me and J. Lou push each other, motivate each other, whether it's taking vitamins and minerals, going to the gym, hitting the sales floor, you know, making money, you know, having the right woman on your arm. We have these conversations damn near daily. I'm like, J. Lou with it. And I was like, but you know what?
Did you say right woman or white woman?
Right. I'm done with y'all sisters. Right, Brittany. You know I ain't.
I'm appalled that you would think it was white, Brittany.
I just wanted to make sure that I heard correctly.
Now, Brittany,
he would have to change his name. His name is New. Like he had to go back. He had to go back to his first name.
I was like, please proceed.
So, and this is why Brittany's here for this conversation, right here to make sure that everything is clear. Because if there's some women watching the podcast right now, like, what did that nigga say? Thank you for clearing that up, Brittany.
About to get canceled.
Right, about to cancel me. But I do want to point out that Brittany, I think, is the perfect woman to have here today, because she bought her business. She has a certain standard that she sets, in my opinion, for the man she dates and even the men in her life or the people in general. This is based on our conversations, our pod, and getting this out of her head. So I wanted a woman to be here as we talk about what it is to be a man. Not that a woman can tell us what it is to be a man, but I would love to hear her feedback in that regard, because we are being better men for ourselves, for our children, and for our women. So I thought it was very important to have a sister on while we had this conversation and to have her interject and kind of give us the feedback of what the ladies would think. Fellas, how y'all feel about that?
I'm with
Absolutely.
it.
Britt, you up for the challenge?
Let's go.
Why, of course.
Of course. All right, so in this kickback conversation, our first installment of the kickback conversation live on the Pod Named Kickback, which is going to be the think piece of the week. We're going to talk about manning up in 2024, what that means, what that looks like. I would love for people watching this that are like, all right, it's 2024, new year. I want to make sure I'm manning up and I'm doing what I got to do, but I don't know what that looks like though. Should I go to the gym? Like, am I trying to make more money? Am I getting girls? Like, what does it look like? And I think the best way to describe what it looks like is to talk about some things that it doesn't look like. And what it doesn't look like, I think that Randy said this to me the other day, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, how do I want to attack this? And I was like, well, what you think? You know what I'm saying? This is your baby. Like, how do you think we should attack it? And he wanted to bring up seeking validation. And I had a billion thoughts about that. But Randy, I'm gonna turn it over to you because I love the way that you kind of explained the angle you wanted to hit with the seeking of validation. And I know this is like an alley. You'd be like, wait a minute, you didn't tell me you were passing me the ball. But I want to get the ball in your court as we start with seeking validation. I thought that was very important the way you explained it to me.
Right. And I think it's one of the main issues, especially for men who seeking authentic, true manhood, that we don't realize that the validation that we seeking causes us to have habits that are damaging that we chase. And like one of them that I'll tell you is a saying that we say, but it is a validating statement. We say players gonna play, right? But players are actually dudes who are seeking validation, right? And it took, and we'll get to it. That's why I'm a big proponent of therapy as well. And I'll push that for all, like especially Black men. Like, we need therapy, and where most of the validation comes from. And a lot of us as men, we was raised by a lot of single moms, because it's just unfortunate, and it's been an agenda to remove Black men from the home, right? And that is still perpetuated until today. But because of that, and shout out to all the Black women all the women who are doing it well, single parenting their kids. Like no shade to you at all. Like, you all are doing great. Like, I support you, I love you, and do what you do. But it was never meant to be that way. And because it's that way, even with everything that they have inside of them, there are some things that they just can't give a man. And then there's some things that they don't have, like, and we missed it, like mom not hugging you. Like, and our parents they've raised us the way their parents raised them. So it's not their fault. And sometimes they just know with the boy, you just be tough, right? You be tough on him and tell them, like, this, be a man, do all this, do all that. But they never hug us. They never tell us that, like, you did a good job. But anytime you mess up, then they jump on it. And those things that we miss growing up, then when we seek those things in our relationships, and that's the validation that you seek. So now you're thinking that now that I'm a player, I'm going after girl after girl. But why are you going after girl after girl? It's because when she every time you get a notch in your belt, it's affirmation that you're a real man. Because it's two things that we all want. Women want to know, girls want to know, am I pretty? Men want to know, am I strong enough? Can I do it? Am I a man? Right? And women get it all. Like, I'm just gonna say it. Like, they get it all when they growing up. They got Barbie dolls, they got teacup parties, like they learning how to socialize, how to get these skills where they being affirmed. Then mom would be like, you look good, that's nice. How many times moms dressing up the kids? Like, how many times you see, like, women who have kids, and most of them, they taking 1,000 pictures of the daughter. She dressed up, she pretty and all that. And, we get a Tonka truck in G.I. Joe. You know what I mean? And that's what we learn our skills at. And look, when I used to come over your house, what we do on the weekends? We playing He-Man and G.I. Joe. all weekend long. So look, that's what we learn.
And real quick, Randy, because I think this is, I've made this point before. Like, our favorite toys as kids with G.I. Joe men, when you would have like 50 G.I. Joe men and like one girl, Lady J or Scarlet or something. So you got 50 men and one girl. That was the dynamic that we had to play with toys, while women had Barbie, kin, the baby, the house. And so that's kind of what they're more drawn to. That's what, like, we grew up, our toys were all of our toys were fighting each other. He-Man and Skeletor and the Autobots and the Decepticons, G.I. Joe and Cobra. It was always about battle, always about conflict. And women were having tea parties and you know what I'm saying? So when we play, and y'all, I'll say this to everybody, I go, yeah, what little boys always want to do? Fight, because we teach them that. Little girls want to have a tea party. Right. We just taught different. And so that gives us different values, different expectations for life, I think. But get back to your point.
Yeah. So the point is, you know, the Kenneth say he didn't want to have a tea party. None of us did, Ken. None of us did, because we didn't see the value in it. But you know, but society did, and women grow up with them social skills and they mature. That's why they a lot of times women mature a lot faster than us, because socially there are things that are just built into society to teach them that, right? But in the same time, we're taught, like, don't cry, right? If you cry, that's weak, right? You showing weakness. So now, and we even have our mothers that tell us, like, stop crying, boy. What you crying for? And so, and don't even realize that you teaching your son, you teaching this man that he needs to hide his emotions and whatever he's feeling, like he can't put that on the surface, right? And when you pack that down and you hold that down, and you wonder why you got these grown men who are emotionally unavailable for the women that they facing now, because they've been told their whole life that, like, a real man don't cry. A real man stand on his own too. You don't get help.
Let me stop you right there. J. Lou, what are your thoughts on that particular concept of, you know, men don't cry, boy, you don't cry, suck it up, you a boy?
I'm torn on it. It was a little bit different. Like, I had my father in my life, you know what I'm saying? And you know, he's no longer here, but he taught me, you know, like, I think he was a great parent in the fact that he taught me his mistakes, right? And he taught me, you know, maybe what he was lacking, he made sure that I didn't lack. So, like, you know, and it was a little different. Like, I was outside, so we was playing sports, and we was interacting with kids and things of that nature. So, you know what I'm saying? So I never had that, you know, I never had, you know, those type of issues. I do think now men are understanding more and more the benefits of therapy, and being able to emotionally express yourself. And I think that's a big win. I think, you know, the men and women, we kind of conflicted on that a little bit, trying to find the medium, the medium for that, with you know, how we communicate with one another in different aspects. So, but my personal opinion is on manhood is, I think at this particular juncture, our generation of men is probably the best generation of the black man that there's ever been. Like, I see it from a positive light. I think more and more of us are doing therapy. If you look at the statistics, as far as more and more of us are being great parents. And I think a lot of that comes to do with sometimes what makes you a great parent is knowing what you didn't have and making sure you want to give it to those after us. So, like, I think this generation, like, more and more graduating school, more and more, you know, making more money. So I just feel like this generation of the black man is setting up the future, you know, for much better, you know, so like a much better black community, just based on the work that we've been putting in, us acknowledging those emotional issues, and putting in the work to fix it.
And as far as seeking, well, all right, Britt, go ahead.
I would say I just agree with that, that more and more men are going to therapy. There are more conversations. I think for me, my only concern is and the same for women, but right now we're talking to men, so I don't want you guys to think anything, but making sure that there's kind of like that thin line between misogyny and like true, genuine manhood.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean? And so absolutely. I love the direction that we're going in with the conversations that we're having, but that's my only worry, is just like really kind of sort of understanding like that basis. Like, I loved when I heard emotional availability, emotional intelligence, like those things are really, really important. And so I definitely wanted to just kind of chime in there and say that I agree on all aspects of it, but it's just really important that the right men are leading these conversations. So Randy, I definitely appreciate you, because so far I'm shaking, I'm nodding in agreement.
So if you're watching on YouTube or Facebook,
so you can definitely appreciate the men who really are, you know, being the real positive people and giving the right direction. So
yeah, I remember being younger, as far as validation, seeking validation, getting back to that. And I played a Tupac clip for Randy last week. He was
That was
saying,
good.
we taught that about older niggas. Like I was literally taught, and I'm not going to do that, but I was literally taught that a lot of my validation as a young man, a lot of my worth was wrapped up in the women that I could get. You know, the women that, just to be straight up honest, women that I could fuck. Like the women that like me, that I could get into my bed, that
validated you.
Validated me. And it set me apart from other people. If I could get that girl, then I am this kind of guy, and I'm better than everybody else. Like rappers talk about it all the time. Like, I get your girl, I take your girl, like this. And as a teenager, that was like really a part of my identity. Even into my early 20s, a lot of what I valued about myself, a lot of what my self-esteem came from the fact that I take your girl, which is such a it's such some dumbass shit. It's
she
really
wasn't
like,
mine if you take her.
Girl. Well, sometimes I did take the girl, but sometimes it really wasn't like she was willing to be taken. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like that I do something so amazing. That's like BBD song. I thought it was me. Like she was gonna go with whoever said the right thing at the right time. But I do think that that is a thing. That was a thing for me. A lot of my words came from women. Like my ability to conquer women. And I was taught that by older niggas. That like Tupac said, we was taught that was really the only thing.
That was the game.
That was our value. Like you was a good nigga if you could do that. And I think that exists in seeking validation because I wanted to do is to be like I was younger, right? So I was 15 hanging with 18, 19-year-olds, and I was dating girls their age. So I was the 15-year-old little dude that was hanging with the big boys and still getting the girls. And they patted me on the back for that. You know what I'm saying? And so a lot of my worth when I was younger came from that. And then now, when you learn what being a man is, hard work, stick-to-itiveness, contributing positively to the community, to the environment, those type of things is where I draw my self-esteem now. But with survivor's remorse, so the guilt thing, I wonder how many dudes are still validating themselves by how many girls they get.
All the time. Like, look, it's like this is where we've been taught. Like, and Pop said it years ago. And we have other men who are perpetuating that. Like the first thing, think when we was young, when you first time you hit a girl, what you do? You go tell your boys, right? Like, why do you want to go and tell other men that you had sex with another woman? We even seek validation from other men, right? So that's still a part of it because guess what? We looking for affirmation and they affirm us when they be like, oh, you hit that, you did that. Then now we feel good. And that's wrapped up into we do. And she said we be lying. Sometimes we do. we do. We be like, we tore it up and we came in 30 seconds, but we be like, yeah, I blew her back out. Yeah, we tell the boys that, right? Because guess what? She validated us, but then we looking for our peers to affirm us, right? Because, and that still dates back to what we never received when we was young. That's why I hug my son every day. Like he has to tell me he loved me before he go to sleep. Like hug me, tell me you love me before you go to bed, because I don't want him to feel like his emotions is something that he got to pack down and can never be a part of it. Because we have to learn how to feel, right? And we don't want to feel it. And that's the thing. We don't want to do the work. And that's why we keep sleeping with women. I have friends who they go from women to women. They won't be alone. Like if they break up with a girl, they gonna have another one in another week. Why? Because you need somebody constantly to make you feel like you a man, right? And you only get that when you feel like you digging into another woman, because that's the only way that we've been taught to be affirmed, to be validated, because mom never did it. Grandma, whoever our caretakers was, they didn't give it to us. So we continue to seek it. And this is the dangerous thing that happened when we do that. And a lot of times, this is what a lot of do is we go straight to love bombing, right? Now, and look, I see Brittany shaking her head. You know about that, right? And that's what when validation when you seeking validation, the dangerous thing that goes next into that is you start love bombing. When you see dudes like with now you want to take them out, you want to do all this to that, you want to do this and do that, and then somehow in like 3 weeks you in love. Like, why? You think you are, but like all of that happens because now you want what you didn't seek, you want to give to somebody else and hoping they return the favor. So you overboard, so you going overboard with everything that you do and thinking that they gonna pay it back. You know what I mean? Because you want that back, so you love bomb them. And sometimes, and a lot of, sadly, Brittany, you know, a lot of y'all women, y'all get caught up in it. And then y'all wonder why this dude he seemed like he loved you for 3 months and then, you know, or 3 weeks or whatever. And then now he ghosted you, right? And he in love with somebody else.
A lot of it isn't even sustainable, right? So when you talk about
None
love,
of it.
it's not even just with, you know, the love, it's even with the standard, right? They're showing you, you know, certain types of places or certain things they can do, or they come in a certain type of way. And then next thing you know, they're not doing it. It's just, you know, this representative or what have you, in order for them to get whatever that validation, to your point, or to get something out of the woman in order to validate themselves. Like a lot of times, I don't even think that for men, I'm not even sure if it's just like the validation is like the love or what have you. It's almost as if they're coming into something in order to be able to go back and get that affirmation from their homeboys. And I feel like a lot of times, you know, when we talk about women having daddy issues, men do too.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's why a lot of that affirmation comes from their homeboys. And there's a lot to unpack. I'm not going to take over y'all's episode. There's a lot to unpack.
We here for it.
With men and their mothers, and then with the lack of fathers too, because a lot of times, like with men, you know, your preference is your preference. When they start talking about, you know, dating other women, right? I'm not mad at it. The issue comes into play when you start downing Black women as an excuse to why you date outside of your race. And a lot of times it's just because of your relationship with your mom. Like if you have trauma from your mother, just say that. A lot of these Black men do not like their moms because, one, their moms did not hug them. For one, their moms, you know, told them don't cry. They didn't want to hear it. They weren't good enough or whatever. But also trying to understand, and you know, some mothers, everybody's not good mothers, but also especially if you're talking about a single mother trying to build up their son, a lot of times people do the best they can, and understanding that, you know, not necessarily always seeking the applause for what you did right, but only getting the critique for what you did wrong, is because they really are trying to build you to be strong, because they know what they're about to release you in, not understanding the back end of it. So a lot of what men are doing when it comes to, you know, validation from women and affirmation from men have a lot to do with, like, men and women have the same issues, is what I'm starting to understand. The way in which...
Hold up, goddammit. Hold up, Brittany. Where my goddamn round of applause?
Because listening to Randy, it's the same thing, like how we talked about, how he spoke about, you know, the men are kind of taught to fight, and you have the action figures, and then the women are having tea parties and being told they're so pretty, etc., etc. But then when the women get out in the real world and they're using their, like, we're all seeking, everybody's kind of set up to seek validation. It just comes in a different way, because women get out there and they're thinking that their looks, okay, well, we're taught to be pretty. We're taught, you know, tea party, show up, be social, get your Prince Charming, the fairy tale, and live happily ever after. And then once we get older and we realize that that isn't actual reality, now what? You know, it's kind of the same thing. It's just showing up differently, if that makes sense. And so it's really interesting how when you have the conversation rather than trying to debate, that you really kind of come to understand, like, we're dealing with the same thing.
That's what I've been saying. But my whole call to end the gender war has been like, men are telling me the exact same thing women are telling me. Everything women are mad about, men are mad about, but nobody understands that the other person is mad about. I'm like, I've wanted to say, dog, I'm tired of hearing you cry about these women. I'm tired of hearing you cry about these men. I'm about to make y'all date. Y'all two gonna hook up. Because this is so ironic that y'all have this. You dislike the exact same thing, but you both are actually doing it as well. You hate it from the other gender, but you're a proponent of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've been saying this for years. Men use love to get sex, and women use sex to get love. Like that's just what I've noticed. You know what I'm saying? That's what I've seen on my little bit of time on Earth.
It is because they want women want intimacy, right? And men we want the connection and the affirmation, right? And that's what we want and that's what we look for because that's what we was taught, right? But Brittany was right. Is that exactly what a lot of us do, right? But this is because we've been pushed down so much, we're not self-aware of our feelings. So
exactly.
when you're not self-aware of what you feeling because you've been taught the push it down again. So you've been taught your whole life to being unemotionally unavailable is being a real man, right? That's what manhood. That's what being a man is. That when people can see like you solid, like stuff like you ain't showing no emotion, no matter what you going through. That's a man, and that's what we've been taught. But the difference is like, but when you are self-aware, let me say this, like, because when you are self-aware and you do the work and you know what you feeling and you know what you experiencing, then then the love bombing won't happen, right? If you can be in 3 weeks, you could actually be in love with somebody and feel a real connection. And I know for one, it's happened to me, and because I think my ex-wife now. I knew her less than a year, but I knew because I was aware of my feelings of myself and what I felt because I don't push my stuff down. I knew when I felt like I was in, like, this was my love, like I knew it, right? And people thought I was crazy, Brittany, because I didn't know her a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I married her, but we made it 19 years, right? But
right.
so shows that when you self-aware, you self-aware and you acknowledge what you feel, right? Like if you want to, like, I'll cry in a minute and I don't care. Like I'm probably the biggest crybaby in the family. And I don't, if I want to cry about something, it's gonna come out.
And Randy, to that point, it's like when I was talking to Ashanti about how I felt about her, you know what I'm saying? And I was like, it ain't really about knowing you. It's about knowing me. I know me. You know what I'm saying? And so, she chose Nelly, whatever. We're gonna let that go.
Right.
But it was never about how well I know her. It's about how well I know me. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And I was raised by women. Shout out to Stephanie Ann. Shout out to Andres. And I was an emotional dude. Like I was a passionate dude. I never had to. I was never taught. Well, am. I mean, I'm passionate. Like I wear my emotions on my sleeve, and I guess I get that from Ricky too. But my emotions are on my sleeve, and I'm a communicator. I was raised by women. Women talk. So that whole thing with a man don't say nothing, don't say how I feel, that was never me. I was always taught to say how I felt because I watched the example of the women that raised me. So if I'm mad, I'll tell you. If I'm sad, I'll tell you. If I'm hurt, I'll tell you. Now, my kryptonite used to be when I was hurt, the way I would respond was with anger, because being angry was a more powerful emotion to me than sadness. So if you hurt my feelings, instead of having an emotionally intelligent conversation about how you hurt my feelings, my response was like, bitch ass nigga, I'll fuck you up. Like, but really all I was saying was you really hurt me. But
that's a lot of men.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only and that's a lot of the issue with emotional, the unintelligence of it is that the only emotion is anger. Feelings are hurt, angry. You're angry, you show anger. You don't like something, you show anger. You know what I mean? Because you don't feel comfortable enough to admit hurt. You don't feel comfortable to admit sadness, even with losing somebody. Like a lot of people, it's anger. It's never anything else. But a part of that, and I will say, taking accountability on the women's side, a big part of that is men understanding that it is okay, but women also understanding that it is not feminine. It doesn't make a man less masculine to say, hey, this bothers me, or this is how I feel, or to cry. You know what I mean? And crybabies are crybabies, but I'm glad that you guys can say you're crybabies, crying a little here and there and being a crybaby is the same on both ends. No, I'm joking, but it does. It takes both ends on somebody being comfortable enough to do it, but also you can only be comfortable if it's being received.
If it's a safe space. And I think that what happened, and I want to stick on men, but what happened is when the Me Too movement popped up, and it was like everybody got a chance to look at themselves. Like, oh shit, we do be doing that. We did grab that girl butt. Damn, what the fuck is wrong with us? And I think that when some men started being apologetic, we started checking ourselves like, dog, what was we doing in the 90s? Like, Jesus Christ, we was some shit in the 90s. What was we doing? That vulnerability, that oops, we did do that. Oh shit, we are kind of bad. That vulnerability that some men had allow women to, like, I think a lot of women are becoming the men that hurt them. Like, a lot of women brag on fuckboy shit. Like, we all know that women do not like fuckboys. They fall for them, but they don't like them. They don't respect what they are. But then women started bragging about doing the things the fuckboys was doing. Like, it was a badge of honor. Like, I do it. Like, I be fucking these niggas. And it's like, you became what hurt you. And now I don't want to date a fuckboy. I want to date a woman. You became a fuckboy by virtue of you emulated. It's like the Stockholm syndrome. You became the motherfucker that hurt you. And now you're bringing that out to the world. But in that same token, we have to be firm in what we are. Because I've been vulnerable. I had a woman tell me, like, I'm too aggressive, like the way I speak, the way I act. I tried to tone it down. And I tried to speak to her in a way that how she spoke to me. And I use words like, that hurt my feelings. I didn't appreciate it more if you see it that way. I don't receive information well when you yell at me. I tried to beat her where she was. And in her mind, she was like, this bitch ass nigga. And I'm like, dog, I'm using words. I literally mimicked you. I mirrored you because I figured that would be the only thing you understand. And you think I'm a bitch. But you know how, like, you know who I really am. I am trying my hardest to communicate to you in a way you can receive it, because if I say how I say it, I'm aggressive, I'm loud, my voice deep. I'm like, I said it in a way that I talked how you talked. I use your dictionary. I use your vocabulary. And you looking at me like I'm a bitch. I'm like, all right, no. But I say that to say, women aren't responsible for how we move. They don't have to give us a safe space for us to operate how we operate. And I want to take the onus off of women. Man, if that woman isn't giving you a safe space to communicate the way you need to, then she probably ain't the woman for you. It ain't about she needs to give me a safe space so I can say what I no. She's not the one. She isn't emotionally intelligent or emotionally mature enough to provide that safe space for you to have that communication, which means that relationship is probably destined to fail at some point any goddamn way.
Let me jump in and say that.
Hold on, Randy. We gotta wrap this portion of the podcast up because Randy's trying to go to his.
No, let me finish on this one. We'll move on.
No. Hold up, because we got a couple other things to touch on.
All right.
So I do want to leave some kind of jewel. Like we've talked about a lot of our downsides and things that we haven't excelled in, but I want to, leave something. Fiscal responsibility. Making sure you putting in the work to make the money that you want to make so that you can provide yourself the lifestyle that you want to have. Brittany, I think you're the financial expert here. Do you have, I'm putting you on the spot, so I'm going to stall while I ask you this question. I want to know, do you have any tips for us as far as fiscal responsibility for men who don't manage their money right? So as I'm asking you that, I'll say a lot of times, we want to go out, want to hang out with the boys, want to go on a billion different dates with a billion different women, and we stressing ourselves too thin, or we lazy. We don't want to work on Saturday because we don't want to put in the extra work, or we're not doing everything we need to do. But there comes a time when manning up is working when you're tired. Manning up is working when you're sleepy. Manning up is working on a vacation day. Now, having said all of that, Brittany, is there any little tip you can throw us about being fiscally responsible?
No pressure.
One, you answered your own question, but because you're like, sometimes we don't, but it's about getting up and doing the work. So I'll just say this for act your wage, because you mentioned going out on dates, spreading yourself thin. I like to tell people to act their wage, and I work in percentages, because when you work in percentages, it always works. So people will be like, well, how much should I have saved? How much, should I spend on household expenses? How much should I spend on discretionary expenses? How much should I, invest? When you work in percentages, regardless of what that income looks like, you can make it work. So I always say when acting your wage is literally living off of 50% or less than your net income. Your household bills should not be above that, because now you're straining yourself, right? Now, then you have to make sure that you're saving. A lot of people will say 20% for saving. I like to split up. Emergency fund is different from a normal savings account, which is different, from your discretionary. And then you have your investments, your retirement investing, and then you have your investments that are making you money now, because I always talk about having those different streams of income that could actually come from one source. So you don't have to do 7 things to have multiple streams of income, because investing alone, you can make income from dividends, growth, those different things. So trying to give you like a 5-minute answer, live off of 50% or less of your income. You shouldn't be spending more than 30% of your income on dating, sowing your royal oats, as they say, or what have you, seeking validation. Listen, you shouldn't spend more than 30% of your net income seeking validation. But no, on a serious note, like I say, acting your wage and making sure that you are comfortable where you are and not trying to prove a point, because the only way to do better, like, we all have to make more money, but you have to manage your money while you're in the process and using your working wages to set you up. If you have different aspirations or hobbies, work that job, get them benefits, bump them people that are telling you, oh, I can't work a 9 to 5, or that is this and that. People can say whatever they want to say about me. Until my passions or whatever God has for me, it forces me to get out of corporate, I will be at that job every day as a trust and financial advisor, getting that paycheck every time of the month. And I know how much it is, and those benefits that are very expensive otherwise. So I think that people just have to be comfortable where they are and understand that managing money is just as important as making money, because I don't care how much money you make. If you're spending more than what you are making, you are still broke. Look at your favorite people, like literally Google your favorite entertainers, athletes, what have you, because they've probably been on my books before. These people are very popular, but they do not have a large net worth. They're making millions, but they're spending it. Mm-hmm. So what do you have at the end of the day? So I say all of that to say, you use those percentages, be honest with yourself and comfortable where you are, and don't try to prove a point. Like an investment in general, that's long game. Anything else is gambling. So yeah, and act your wage.
Actual ways, heard it from the corporate black people. Now, spirituality, we can run the gamut on that. I'll just say, find your home where you're comfortable, where you feel validated, where you feel accepted, where you feel empowered, and go with it, and go and continue with it. Make it a part of your daily activities, whether you're Muslim, Christian, Jewish, Buddhist, atheist, spiritualist, whatever you are. Incorporate that into your daily practices. I think it's very important to either to latch on to whatever your higher power is, even if it's nothing more than yourself, to have a moment where you're there with that part of you daily. And therapy.
Good stuff, Brittany.
Hell yeah, therapy. I've been in and out of therapy my entire, from age 11 to age now. So my current therapist, I haven't been in therapy in about a year. So I've been on my BS, but I need to go back. But I've been in my therapy. I do book therapy as well. A great book for you guys is What Happened to You by Oprah Winfrey. And there's a doctor associated with the book, but it's What Happened to You. And that's about dealing with childhood traumas, which is kind of what we were speaking about earlier. But I do actual therapy and I do book therapy. I've almost fixed my damn anxiety, my anger anxiety, through books. I know that sounds crazy, but
no, don't.
No, don't.
No, don't. No, don't.
So I would encourage you to
my library is deep.
yeah, you said the book on grief that I need to get through with all this damn shit that's happening in 2023. But I will say I think therapy is very important. You have to unpack some of this shit. You have to get through these childhood traumas. It is imperative. I don't know that I would date a woman that never had therapy, that never had a session.
I don't know. You can't say every woman might need therapy, right?
I think every human needs therapy. That's where I'm coming from.
Now again, I'm a big proponent of it because it's always a safe space, especially for us that in our community who grew up with things lacking in from our caretakers, that there's some deficiencies that we will never figure those out. Like it was a lot of things about myself that I didn't figure out until therapy, right? And when I can tell you that I am a better man because of it, it was things that I didn't even know that I didn't even know that I did it. I was like, I found out I used to seek validation until I found out that I was doing. I was like, oh, that's why I do that. Like it was like, and I felt bad about it. I was like, duh. And then it's still, but we've been so deficient in that area for so long that you compel. It's a compulsion, right? Like you don't even think about that you're doing it, and sometimes only through therapy are you gonna figure it out.
Facts. J. Lou, what's your thoughts on therapy?
Oh no, I'm a key proponent of it. I know, like before I get married, if I'm lucky to get married, me and my wife, my soon-to-be wife, we would definitely have to go through it, just because it's so much that goes into the communicating and things of that nature. So no, I'm a key component of it. You got to be able to express yourself and be open. You know what I'm saying? And I think sometimes you just need a place to speak your mind and hear from somebody that you know is not judging you. I think a lot of times, and we talked about it. It was crazy. The first question, a lot of the first couple people we talked about, Diddy, the kind of answered the second question when we put certain people on a pedestal and you saw looking at their issues and their misogynistic ways and how they were living and things of that nature. And a lot of it is just insecurities that that we see, and unfortunately we've glorified in our culture. And sometimes we got to see that in the mirror to be able to kind of face it.
Britt?
Indeed.
I'm definitely a proponent of it. I feel like everyone is healing from something, whether it was childhood or adulthood. And so it's always good to have someone, to everybody's point, that is unbiased, but also is not coming from a judgmental place, that you can talk through it. Because a lot of times when we talk to our friends or we talk to family members, you do have some of those family members that are either able to take, how they feel about you out of it. But in a lot of cases, even if we want to say something, we don't want to say it a certain way. Whereas when you're talking to a therapist, they're going to kick it to you pretty straight, and they're going to hold you accountable without you even knowing it. So, because that's what they do. So I'm definitely a proponent of it. But I also just wanted to say before we change gears that I really appreciate the conversation, and I really appreciate you gentlemen, like kind of taking that onus to say, hey, we're going to be accountable as individuals who are men, right? So now you guys are talking about manhood. But for men and women, I think it's so important to, when you prioritize and focus on becoming a better you, everything else automatically aligns. Like you will attract everything, but you will align with where you are. And so a lot of times people get the whole attraction piece mixed up with alignment. But I feel like when that focus is on being a better person, like you have no choice but to align with people who are also focused on the same thing.
Man,
so
come
I am
on, Brittany.
really proud of you guys. Like we appreciate
come through, Britt.
Y'all never stop.
Come through. Hey, and I'll tell you,
Somehow that is correct.
I think one of the biggest things that can help with therapy, especially with men, because I did cognitive behavior therapy, we need to know how to handle and deal with what you're feeling, right? Because once I identified the behaviors, now I do it. Now, what do I do about it, right? Because I figured out, I just feel bad about it. Now I'm just guilty, like, why I keep doing this? But no, what the therapy has done it's taught me now I have techniques and I've learned, like when I'm feeling this, like this is what I've learned what to do. Like, and I told my therapist, I like, you're gonna be at the wedding. Like when like my next wife, like I'm gonna be so good, like, and so available for her. Like she gonna want to love you just because you made me such a great, like, cause where I'm at now, I give her like Keisha, and I got a session tomorrow at 4. Like we in there, and I told her, like, shout out to Zoe, my babe, she watching. I told her, like, when I get married, like, she coming to the wedding because she taught me the techniques and the behaviors to not just to identify them, but what I should do when in those moments. Like now I learn how to, and I used to think journaling was like for girls. Who writes stuff down? Like who does that?
I was a rapper, so I was.
Yeah, and I mean, and me too, right? But when we wrote, we was writing about life, right? We wasn't writing about our feelings, and most of our stuff was we was writing culture, right? But we wasn't really rapping about like what was eternally happening inside of us, right? Like being self-aware of what I'm feeling. Because we talk like when you feel something, go smoke, go drink, go have sex, and don't worry, and push it down, and then keep living. That's what we do. That's the man. That's what real men do, right?
Yeah. I will say, I think I love that we're talking about therapy. I love the people that are hearing this. Oh shit. Okay, yeah, okay, cool. And because I had muted myself when I was coughing. I was like, am I still on mute? No, don't. But I and this is more of what I want to do on the podcast. Pod Named Kickback. We do, normally do the biggest stories of the week. We try to, pop culture, politics, music, sex, and sports. And those are my passions. But this is also one of them. Really having these real conversations, and this is kind of giving you guys a peek behind the tent of the real conversations that men and women have or should be having. Because if you're not dealing with your own traumas, you're not dealing with where you are, you're not holding yourself accountable, then what are you actually doing? Right. You know what I mean? Like there are people in my life that will hold me accountable to damn near every decision I make. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't have people, I think that's another key component. You need to have people around you that hold you to that standard. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. Your accountability buddy. And if you don't have them, you can tune in every Monday. We're going to hold you accountable. What you do last week, nigga? What you do week before last? Why you call that girl? You don't even love her.
Right.
But yeah, so I really love this conversation. I think it was great. Randy, I love what you're doing with Man Up. And I'm glad that we could bring a part of that here. And I want to try to get through the rest of this is rapid fire.
Yeah, let's go.
Keep y'all all night long. I know Brittany's trying to get the cookies. You know what I'm saying? Say you trying to watch that game. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to make sure.
I'm watching it. I got it on.
I can tell they got it on.
You can see it. You can see it. I can see it in the poster behind me. You can see the game.
I can watch the game when you're on your poster, bet.
Right.
Mahomes. Okay, yeah. So that's that. Oh, wow. Speaking of accountability,
it's the mayor. Stay
What the fuck? Brick girl, the young lady, Brittany went to go get them cookies. The young lady that said she was in the hospital and she got hit by a man with a brick. It was a bunch of black men standing around and nobody did anything. Come to find out she was never hit by a brick. As the rumor says, she really did have an allergic reaction. She raised over $40,000 on GoFundMe. And from what I can tell, she wouldn't got a BBL. She took that brick money and got cheeks. Like, I mean, cheeks. I should show you the picture. I should really show y'all them. I'm an ass man, so I saw that. I was like, oh, okay.
Hey, was that the chick you sent me on the joint you sent me on IG?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, but she spent money well.
Exactly. And that's a felony. She has felony charges coming up at her. And aside from the silly part and the funny part of it, there were a couple of things that hit me about this particular story. I'm anti-gender war. I don't like the black women do this and black men do that. I don't like the shit. And it hit me a way that she was like, and black men were sitting around while she got hit by this brick and nobody did anything. And that furthered the narrative. See, black men ain't never doing nothing. Black men always. And I was just like, to find out it's a lie. It was like we was indicted. We got smut on our jacket as black men in general. Because the whole thing was a bunch of black men sat there and ain't do nothing while she got beat with a brick. And I felt bad, like, why the fuck them niggas ain't do nothing? Like, how the fuck y'all sit there and let somebody beat a woman with a brick? And it didn't even happen. So we took charges. We got smut on our jacket for some story that she just made up and went and bought a BBL. Now, I'm sure black men will benefit from her BBL. I am sure of that, or maybe black women.
Already have.
Somebody gonna benefit from that BBL. But I just thought it was like,
how are they gonna benefit from it if she's going to jail?
That's why I said women, because she's gonna be in jail with women. So the women will benefit from it, I guess. But there's some dude in Jamaica. She's in Jamaica now posting pictures. Quite possibly some dude has a much softer landing spot than he would have had initially if she didn't have that BBL. If you don't know what I mean, like much softer landing spot. But like this goes against. This is why and I hate to say this because I'm anti-gender war, but this is why I believe black women became so toxic because we just started believing everything. Because it was almost like a rule. You have to believe black women. Okay, hit you with a brick. Goddamn niggas always doing some shit. And it's a lie. It's not even funny to me. Go ahead, Brett.
But I'm not saying that's the only situation, but that's just one situation where somebody lied. And, I don't really like how we will do that, right? One situation where it happens to be publicized, where a black woman lied, about being hit and not being supported by black men. Now, women be lying. Like, that's not fair. It doesn't change the fact that, black women do feel like there's still room to be a little bit more protected by black men and vice versa. So I just wanted to kind of put that out there. Like, yeah, I get it. Crazy story. That's messed up. But to take, this one individual, and apparently she had done it. This wasn't the first time she had lied about something like that. So you take a person who lies, and now we're just going to put that on every story that, black women may talk about.
Nah, we can't do that. We can't do that. I wasn't suggesting that. I was just thinking the irony of it all.
I think
I wasn't doing that. Don't be making no faces on YouTube.
Well, no, I think what happens is consequences have to matter for both sides. So I think what happened, with that situation, with the kidnapping situation, that old girl did, like they have to face the same kind of consequences as the dude that really did it,
right?
So that we can respect sides. Because I got 4 sisters. If my sisters call me and say somebody did it.
I got 5.
Yeah. So if they say they did it, they did that shit. So that, what I'm saying, that's how I'm moving. But I'm like, you gotta have consequences to both sides. I think that's what matters. As long as there's equal consequences, everybody can be believed equally.
Indeed, the bill always come due, right?
Yeah.
But I think now that since we've jumped into this whole Me Too movement thing, which is sad, is that and you know what, Boy George said it a long time ago. He made a song called "Culture of Personality," right? And that song made no sense, right? But if you think about it now, that is exactly what we are. We are a culture of personalities that we are like now that's who get paid. Like they influencers, they are real. They get money to make you want to buy and do things. They influence you on stuff that you might probably don't even want to do. You know what I mean? That you don't even want to do, but that's the culture, right? The culture of personality. Clear Channel Radio, and Luke Skywalker said this. He did an interview, look it up. He did it years ago when Clear Channel bought out all of the radio stations and they took over when DJs stopped being DJs. That's when music stopped being music. So now DJs used to run music, right? But now when Clear Channel took over, now you got to pay the DJs to get your stuff on. So whoever can pay the most, like how many times you hear a song that you be like, this song is crap, and then you singing it like in 3 weeks. Now you in the car rapping it, like you know what I'm saying? Because they spin it.
Sexy Red,
right? Because that's
your girl.
That's your girl.
I like Sexy Red.
Hey.
Yeah,
But I know a lot of people, you know, have opinions about her songs, but I was just saying, I bet y'all be singing it. Can't even help yourselves.
Can't help it.
I'll listen to that shit.
You hear so you can hate it and you still be singing it and be like, come on.
I
And
ain't
you
never
with it.
sang my pussy pink and my booty hole brown. I ain't never seen that. I've never seen that. I've never ever seen that.
Not at home.
Hey,
while you
Never, ever. And back to this little brick girl.
He lied. Y'all need to worship him.
She lied.
She
The
did.
bill come due.
Yeah.
The bill will come due. It don't matter whoever it is, whatever you do, the bill gonna come due.
Every time. And I definitely think though that there should be consequences for lying, especially as far as someone harming you. Because I mean, I don't know if you guys heard about that story, but I think they were college students, and one girl had lied and said that a guy, her boyfriend or what have you, gave her HIV or something of that nature, and it was a huge story. Like they were, you know, really being like mean to him, threatening his family, etc., to the point where he was even about to, like, he had talked about taking his life because the girl had made that statement, and he was like, it's not true. Then they ended up like having a video of her confessing that she lied on him. But you've already affected this man's life in college, you know, on campus, his reputation, his family, how he feels about himself. And so I definitely think that there should be consequences for falsely accusing someone of anything of that nature. So I will say that.
Yeah, in the Middle East and Islamic countries, if you're accused of something, like if you steal, they chop off your hand. If you rape a woman, they castrate you. But if a woman accuses you of rape and you didn't do it, that's her life. I ain't saying go that extreme. I'm not saying that, but
no, but the same way you would get criminal charges, there should be something. I mean, because if a man gets falsely accused and goes to jail for rape, right? It's the same thing for whoever falsely accused and you find out, because you are dealing with someone. It's with anything, you know, you get charged with something. You have to go to court. You got to fight it. Yeah, you're innocent until proven guilty, but you are still looked at as a criminal. The exonerated five. Yeah. They'll never be able to get away from that. And them boys did absolutely nothing. But people will never be able to like really look at them and be like, you know, they shouldn't have never been here in the first place. So there's a lot that comes with that. People's professions. You get accused for doing something like that, you're getting kicked out of school, you're probably going to lose your job. Like there's a lot to unpack with that. So yes, there should be a consequence, whether it be criminal. I mean, we could say civil, but we all know you can only sue people up to what they're worth. So would you even really be getting justice that way? But there has to be something implemented in order to stop that, because that's not fair.
It's not. I think the worst thing about it is that for people who have suffered that for real, like who've been a victim of that, like you are really like destroying that story of what they did, right? Or what happened to somebody for real. Like to make up a false narrative of somebody who have experienced that, to hear that you out here lying, that you would lie and say that something like that happened to you and somebody actually experienced that. Like that is criminal all alone by itself, because now you disenfranchising the people who really feel it, and now you muddying the waters for law enforcement who trying to stop this. Right now, you making it harder to find the people who may be committing these and get them, because now we got to sift through y'all people who trying to get the bag. You know what I mean? Trying to Jesse Smollett something because you want to, you know, because you just want to be in the spotlight for a minute, but you pissing on somebody's experience and trauma that they dealt with and still living with, and some people not even getting over, and they be like, you gonna lie about something like that? Yeah, I don't like, she deserve whatever, like the bill come due, whatever they give her.
And she got money out of it.
She got and Sean said that's actually her real body. So
I saw that. What she spend the money on then?
I don't know, but her real body look crazy. That's her real body. God,
probably pill. pills. My bad. I meant to say bills. She
Brittany,
was probably taking care of
pills. That's how y'all doing it now, Brittany? Y'all taking them pills?
I was like, she's probably taking pills. No, I meant she was probably like, people scam to make a living. And the fact that she had done something like that before, like she probably spent the money on going to Jamaica, or literally like people really do scam to make a living.
Yeah.
That's
40,000 goes a long way.
Yeah, she probably big though. There's no way she thought it to get this big.
Yeah, and now she got felonious charges. So hope you save some of that money for a lawyer.
Right.
That's all I got. And this is something I did want to talk about. I don't want to spend a lot of time on it, but it was something that I felt needed to be addressed early as we're going into this election year.
So dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
Don't Be Dumb Award. I have been seeing repeatedly this notion that Biden didn't do anything. Now, he didn't do everything. He didn't do everything I wanted him to do. Him or Kamala. But to act like the narrative, it's like people go too far with it. It's like you either kissing Biden ass and lying about all of his achievements for Black people, or you're discrediting every single thing he did. And the truth is somewhere more in the middle. Biden was the first president ever to have a Black agenda. You know what I'm saying? And he knocked out a lot of those things on the agenda that he could. And even down to the student loan thing, he met some opposition, but he did some executive orders, and we're still working through that as people are getting student loan relief, along with the Black unemployment rate is the lowest it's ever been. Some they just emailed me the other day like, you got to start some payments again. Like, fuck Biden, what my shit, Biden? Right. I don't owe a lot, so I don't think I hit the criteria, the threshold. But all I want to say is, as we're going into this, as DeSantis is dropped out of the election, paving a clear way for Trump on the Republican side, and on the Democratic side, we know we're going with Biden. I want to caution people that's doing this whole, I have just rather have Trump back because Biden ain't doing anything anyway. Shut up. You're stupid. You've done no research. Watch your mouth. Don't be irresponsible. You can't say Biden didn't do anything. Did he do what we wanted him to do? I ain't gonna say that. You ain't gonna get me lying for him because I don't even like Biden. I'm not gonna lie for him. But he did more than any sitting president in my lifetime has done for Black people. That does not make him good. That does not make him great. That does not make him an excellent candidate for presidency. That does not make him the best president we've ever had. It just means he did more because the foot was on his neck. Like, what you gonna do for us? I get a Black vice president. All that shit was because Black people were organizing against them. Like, so that malcontent that I don't like nobody, Democrat or Republican, that did help. And that's why Biden did what he actually did, because the foot was on his neck. Like, we're not voting for you, dog. We tired of voting for Democrats that don't do nothing. And he felt that pressure. But I think the narrative now that everybody's just like speaking out their ass, Biden didn't do anything. Like, no, that's not true. Shut up. I don't want to hear from you anymore. I want to hear from people who actually did some research and know what he did and didn't do. And then we can bash him for what he didn't do. We can praise him for what he did do. But the narrative that he just did nothing, he's the same as Trump, that's that dangerous rhetoric. There is a difference between Biden and Trump. I personally don't want either one to be president. I'm not a fan. But this upcoming election, I will be voting for Biden, which is actually a vote against Trump. I saw what Trump did. I saw what Trump wanted. I saw when he lost the election, what the Cracker America did. They ran up in the city hall. Like, you hear what I'm saying? And I saw his speech when he told him to do it. Like, that's what we're up against. Like, imagine if 30 Black people ran up in the Capitol. Like, imagine. And we killed the police officer. Like, that's what Trump is capable of. That's the propaganda he's spreading. And Biden isn't a million times better. He isn't inciting riots. And I think that's good enough for, until we get a real candidate. Because I'm not even a Democrat, but until we get a candidate to replace Biden or an independent that makes some sense, or Republican, because I'll vote Republican if it ain't Trump. until we get somebody that's qualified to kind of undo some of the shit that Trump has already done, I think that's where we at with it. And I just want the narrative to be, I don't like Biden did XY, but I did like AB. But the narrative that he ain't doing nothing, I don't want to hear that shit no more.
I definitely think people have to do their research, not just based on what presidents have or have not done, but also understanding how the government works and who can implement things and who has to vote things in order for them to be implemented. And also like who's in control. So I know a lot, like when we start talking about inflation and interest rates and things of that nature, well, that is the Federal Reserve. You know what I mean? Like understanding where certain things and decisions come from is very, very important.
Yeah.
And in a lot of cases, the president is a mouthpiece.
Yes.
Like, let's just be very honest, because even if someone, like, I know a lot of people had talked about, like, even with Obama, not even understanding how hard it was for him to get something as simple as health care for all people passed. Obamacare was not Obamacare when he first presented it. There's a lot of things that had to get changed for him to even get it passed. So,
and wasn't that Mitt Romney's agenda that Barack borrowed? Obama, the platform for Obamacare was Mitt Romney's, right?
A good bit of it.
One of them Republicans.
The infrastructure came from him.
Yeah.
The infrastructure came from Mitt Romney, but they built it out. They built it out to something more comprehensive. But
exactly. And there was a lot of back and forth about that. A lot of things that Obama had to agree to change that people may or may not have been happy with. But I just say all that to say, I bring up certain things that, you know, educating yourself is very important, especially before making decisions. So that's all I will say as far as politics. I try not to get too in depth of how I personally feel as far as views are concerned for different reasons, but I do agree with the concept of educate yourself, understand how the government works, and then kind of take it from there and make your decisions from there, because it's so easy to see or hear somebody or to understand that nothing happened while this person was in their seat. Well, what a lot of people don't understand is some of the things that happened while Trump was in his seat was implemented during Obama's presidency. So just because it happens, it doesn't mean that it wasn't something that someone initiated prior to that particular president being in that seat as well. So again, education and knowledge is just power.
But you know, the sad part, Brittany, is that 60% of voters, active voters, get their information from CNN or Fox News.
Right. Understanding that those are two very, very biased.
Both of them.
One is Democrat, one is Republican.
One Republican. Absolutely. And I watch both because I like to hear both sides.
You need
like, I as much CNN I watch what if it's the same story that I see on CNN, I need to hear it on Fox News.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I be having both of my TVs on half the time because I need to see what they're saying.
Exactly, but where I might this is what I feel like with, and I don't want to get into politics either. I'm like Brittany, I don't want to give my views, but what I feel, and Ice Cube and a lot of other rappers and people put it out there last year that I think the Democrats prostitute our votes every single year. I think they take us for granted, and that they automatically assume that they're going to get our votes. And I'm telling you, Biden did do some things, but it's two things that he didn't do why I'm not going for the smoke and mirrors. He did do some things. I will get that. But for one, the John Lewis Act bill is still sitting dormant in Congress. Right. And it's been there when John Lewis was alive when he put it up there, and he's been dead. He's gone now, and it's still sitting dormant in Congress. Now, while that was still there, guess what happened? We had a bunch of Asians got beat up in New York for 2 weeks, and then an Asian hate bill got passed on Biden's watch in a week. in a week while John Lewis we still sitting there. It's still sitting there for voting right acts for us. But some Asians get beat up in for 2 weeks and we get a whole bill pushed through. Like, to me, like that's inexcusable. Like, for me, like, that's you can't ask for my vote and you can't get that through. Now, the other thing, and he got it on the White House bill that they taking credit for what they did, the farmers bill. Right, that all this farming stuff that, and you did do that, but guess what? The black farmers are at the bottom of the line who are getting all these funds that you put out, this USDA funds that you got on your page. That's why you, like Brittany said, you got to do your research. That now they putting it on their page like it's a strike, but it's black farmers they come to DC almost every other week. Watch it on Netflix. It's a Netflix show on there now that's showing that the black farmers showing that this bill got passed, but we still at the bottom of when they pass it out. Everybody else get theirs, and then the black farmers get whatever's left. They get whatever's left, but you got it on your page like you did all this just for black farmers. Like, I just saw that while we was on here. I just looked it up to see, and I was like, I know black farmers were just in DC protesting before, probably a couple of months ago. Black farmers was down on the Capitol saying how, yeah, you passed this bill, Biden, but we ain't get none of it. But we don't see all that. Right. I think whoever's the president, like I don't have any party affiliation. Right. Like, I'm not dedicated to any. I'm whoever going to lead the country in the right direction, stand behind my values and what I believe in. I'm voting for you. Right. And that's the way I'm going. And honestly, Republicans, and we associate them with Trump, but really, if we look at it, they align more with black people values than a lot of Democrats.
As Republicans. We started as Republicans back when our values were as
That's what we don't know.
We started voting.
That was a different Republican Party, though. That was a long.
Yeah. Be clear.
It was a long time ago, but still,
long time.
You know what I mean? But to Randy's point, I feel like one thing that we have to get better with doing, and I want to be very careful because I love my black people, but we have to get a lot better at, to your point, is kind of doing that research and not trusting the news and things of that nature. One thing that other communities are able to do is come together and know exactly where to go and what to do to get things done. Yes. We get upset. No offense, protests do not work anymore. If you are not going in their pockets, if you don't have the right affiliations, if you're not threatening, to take the correct funding or do this or, submit that, those are the things they care about. And a lot of that stuff is done locally. So we can sit here and talk about, who we're going to vote to lead the country as a whole, but we also have to get better with understanding the importance of how, if we all kind of collectively did the same thing within our states and our counties, it would get better. And another point too, with a lot of our Black leaders, they're getting older now. And a lot of these sanctions, even here in Atlanta, I was having a conversation. A lot of the people who are on the front lines kind of fighting for the rights that we are, kind of the crumbs that we are getting, they're getting older and they're getting tired. And they need people who are of like our generation, who are willing to do the research and who are willing to do the work in the right way, not just getting upset. Social media, we have seen that it can be powerful, but you can't stop there. You have to still understand the infrastructure. So I just say that a lot of it is because I want to say we need to do a little bit more, but in different capacities as a whole. We just being upset and talking about being upset is not enough. I'll say that.
Right.
Agreed.
And I think the only thing I would, from a politics standpoint, is know what you want. Be able to kind of articulate exactly what you want from your candidates. Like Brittany was saying, understand the government. A lot of people, like, bills get passed all the time. Like my sister's in government in DC. Like, we'll bitch about a bill, like certain things getting passed and not distributed, but it gets distributed on the local level. But we won't show up for that local election, but we'll bitch on social media about this not happening, this not happening. And, it's like sometimes complaining is a cool thing. So I think, research, know exactly what you want, and judge a president for a president. Like, don't judge a president for something that they can't do. Judge them for everything that they can do, and hold them accountable. And look, I say
it's
whoever
not
makes you
even a
better.
president. It's know who your local representatives are.
Yeah, but
right?
if you don't show, those people don't show up until a presidential election.
Until the presidency makes no difference. That they not the ones who really determining like what's gonna go. It's the local elections. Those are the ones that really determine the agendas that's gonna happen in your community. Like if you don't know who you should know who your rep is. Where you say like I know who David Trone is my dude, and I've emailed him times and got stuff and said stuff to him. He got me in the White House too. Like he got me passing them. They work for you. They need your votes, right? So if you want stuff done, like find out who your local rep. Forget the president. Like the president is the president.
Yeah.
All he's supposed and really the president is just supposed to be the leader of the military. That's what the president was really set out to do. It's just America. We've made him so much more, right? But when they first made the president was only supposed to lead the military. Period. That was it. He wasn't supposed to be running the whole country, economics and all this stuff that we have him doing now. It is your local elected officials. Like you want to get stuff done, them the people you got to find out who's your local official and hold. You want something done, email them, talk to them. That's where you're going to get stuff done.
Got it.
Right, like I want Verizon in my neighborhood. I emailed David Trump and said, "Why Verizon ain't out here? Why is it only Cox Cable and Pepco in my neighborhood? This ain't right. Like we need free market around here. We need to get them here." And I guarantee they will respond because they want your vote. They want your vote.
Yeah.
I like that. As we wrap up, I do want to shout out Country Wayne and Shannon Sharp for their Country Wayne went on after Cat Williams, of course, and he talked about Brittany, that's your people's, right? Country Wayne. I done seen you in one of his skits. Don't act all like you don't know what I'm talking about. For y'all that don't know, our very own Brittany Sade starred in one of Country Wayne's skits. And I think Berger was the one, Kenneth Cromartie was the one that told me that Brittany was on the skit. I was like, Brittany ain't on a skit with no damn Country Wayne. He sent it to me and I watched it. I was like, that is Brittany.
That was me. That was me. I definitely know of Country Wayne. I definitely respect what he does and respect who he is as a person. So I'll say that. Yes, I know of him.
How'd you get in the skit?
And was in the skit.
I actually got in the skit more so because of my relationship with his director. So Chase and I have been really cool since I moved to Atlanta. And so I've done other little skits. I was in a couple of music videos years ago in my younger years. I wasn't that type of video girl, little and scenes. I can't dance, but different skits and things of that nature. And that's just how I got into the skit and met Wayne was from Chase.
He was saying the skits he was making, $20 million a year off of the damn skits.
Yeah, Facebook especially.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Facebook sent me a check for $5 last month.
I know that's right.
Hey man, look, that's a seed. That's a seed, man.
that means God's in your living room,
Right.
Yeah. They had me shadow banned though because some of my adult content they was hating on. So I used to get at least a couple.
They were hating on, or was it explicit?
Man, he used to be in Facebook jail once a month. He's gone.
They're holding it against me, God dog it. My little $200 check turned into $2 check, J. Lou.
You say what?
My little $200 Facebook check, Meta check, turned into a $2 Meta check. I'm like, come on.
Hey man, you the one wanted to go to a different audience, man. I told you.
I blame Kiki and Medina Cocktails, and I blame damn Lex and Drea from damn Poor Minds, and Mandy from Horrible Decisions. It's all y'all fault. Y'all messed my podcast up coming on here with those shenanigans. But I will say, moving on, I just want to get them Nipsey Hussle Award. I did want to acknowledge that content creators, the money is there. They get it. It's there. So I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. Randy, you doing your thing. Britt, J. Lou.
Hey, let me say this. We Walk they are building communities right now that they bought a bunch of complexes out, and I know a marketing director who told me this, and they hired him, that they're building communities that they only putting influencers in the house. They putting everything, it's going to be fully furnished communities.
Like houses.
Fully furnished communities. WeWalk. They bought a lot. They buying up a lot of land, and they making nothing but houses for influencers. That it's gonna have so you can do TikTok videos and stuff. Everything that you need, all your podcasting kits, all of it is gonna be installed in the place. That's in the works, like right now.
So how does that work? Because I've seen like TV shows where they have like these content houses, and you have to get approved to be able to live there, right? But how do like WeWalk? How do they benefit from the content? Like, do they have to give a percentage back to WeWalk, or how does that work?
Well, from what he told me, and Anthony O'Neill actually talk about it a lot too. That they've got deals established already with like YouTube, TikTok, and stuff. So. Right. So they already have deals worked out. They just got the people for them to stay in these houses, it's going to be rent free. You just have to have an amount of content that you got to put out every week. And it got, and to stay there, you got to be hitting for your rent to be free, or you're going to start paying till you get there.
Or you get
but they still get nickels. They still getting pennies. Like WeWalk making millions, and the people putting out 5,000 videos and getting like a $2,000 check, while WeWalk got a $2 million check.
Nah, we're not doing WeWalk. We're doing WeWalk. We gonna walk. We gonna do that.
we gonna walk.
Yeah, we gonna walk.
We're gonna walk our own money.
Exactly. Before we get out of here, because I did want to go into our after dark topic, but it's been 17 hours, and y'all are lucky tonight. You never got a 17-hour podcast from us in years. We're not gonna give you 18 hours. But anybody see the Kevin Hart movie Lift?
I did.
On Netflix. I say it was almost good. That's my opinion of it. It was almost good.
He was unbelievable as an action star to me. That's all I can say.
Yeah. Come on, man. Look, man, just because Kat says now y'all don't.
Oh, here we go.
No, I'm not gonna lie. I like the little like adult Spy Kids / you know what I'm saying? Like I kind of liked the movie. I feel like I was very disappointed in the end. Like I was very disappointed in how it ended. I'm like, I needed it to make a little bit more sense.
Yeah, to me, it felt like, how they have these great Ocean 11 type movies. Yeah. We're gonna do one like that, Kevin. This is gonna be your Ocean 11, Kevin, and you're gonna be the star. And it's gonna be, this and that. It's gonna have a suspense. It's gonna be on a plane, Kevin. Doesn't that sound crazy? But they dropped the ball. It looked like the overall concept was
fine. It looked like the same plane as Soul Plane. Kevin don't sit here and say that plane did not look the exact same, just without the pole.
Hey, Kevin,
it kind of did. It kind of did, Brett.
That was Brittany and Randy. That was not me, Kevin.
I liked where it was going. I just wish the storyline, like I wish we had wrapped it up better.
Yeah,
I enjoyed watching it.
Me too, but like I
don't understand why people won't stay in that lane. You make comedy. Make me laugh. I don't want to see you being serious. I don't want to see Kevin Hart being an action star. Make me laugh, man. Say it with your chest. That's what I want.
If you pull it off, I don't care if you
Why? Stay on brand. Stay on brand.
I talk about politics, pop culture, music, sex, sports.
Yeah.
I like diversity, but just do a better job.
Yeah. If you have range, I don't mind it. You know what I'm saying? But he didn't. And maybe that was just one of those things where it's like he was going to give it a try.
The script wasn't good enough. They dropped the ball on the script.
The script was terrible. Like when it's from the first scene when he sat there with old girl, the whole little love story with him and Twino, it made no sense. Like the whole script was weak to me.
Yeah, and apparently Kevin don't know how to flirt. I was watching his little flirting scenes in a movie. Like, you be getting pussy? It's because you rich, nigga. I don't know. Look great to me.
So he's probably used to making women laugh, but in that sense, he had to be a little bit more serious. So it just us seeing Kevin, he didn't have enough range for us to believe in that character. That's all that was. Indeed. Because there are comedians who have range, and I'm trying to like think of somebody, but there are actors who have range where it's like, okay,
Jamie Foxx is like one of the best.
Exactly.
All the time.
Okay.
I think he's
for sure.
Shit, think about it. Bill Cosby could handle the kids. He could. I'm not even going there.
Wait, what?
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. No, don't do that.
Just cut my mic off. Oh man! And it's sad news. They canceled rap shit. Does anybody watch rap shit besides me?
I watched the first season. I didn't watch season 2. It kind of fell flat at the season finale. I was surprised that they got a season 2. It started off hot, then it kind of went down. That's why I hadn't even watched season 2, because I was like, it didn't interest me enough that I even care how it ended.
I liked the show. I liked season 2. I didn't love it, but I've learned with Issa Rae shows, you just got to give it a chance. Like there's going to be a lull at some point. I love the.
I'm gonna watch it because I love Issa Rae too. Just for the support, I'm gonna get it's in my watch list just so she'll get the money. So she'll get the money for doing it, because I'm a support the sister, even though I ain't even all on the show. I want her to get her money, right?
It's over now. It's over now. You can watch season 2 and enjoy it, but it's over. But season 2, they got just some adult content. There was it was some brick girls showing off their bodies in season 2. That's neither here nor there. But rest in peace to that show. It's had its final episode, and that's the end of that. I love seeing black women on TV. I love seeing black women everywhere, for real.
Yeah.
I'm gonna miss it.
She all right. She got a big contract with Netflix that she good. Yeah, she getting her money.
A lot of people were talking about like canceling HBO Max because they let that show go. Yeah. Issa Rae has a big, like, the people who support Issa Rae support Issa, and I'm all for it because I support her. Like, I like her like as a person and as a creative and like what she does. But why is Randy laughing?
I'm laughing at what Josh says, seducing scheme. Somebody in the comments. Go
ahead. But yeah, people are like, oh yeah, HBO Max is canceled, honey.
Too much money. HBO Max made too many deals. They ain't going nowhere. They got Discovery. Like, you look on them now, they got like 20 different channels built in that they set up deals.
They're not like Disney at this point.
Yeah, it's too many. It's too much money in the pot for them to go somewhere.
It'd be all right in the year.
Yeah.
Hey, look, all black people, we 2 news cycles. That's all it takes for us to change our mind. Like, it doesn't matter what happened. I used to work for a television station, and I'm telling you, and they know it. 2 news cycles is all it takes.
HBO Max has canceled 2 of my favorite shows. They canceled the Magic Johnson Lakers show, which was phenomenal, and now this. I don't know. We gonna see.
I only needed one season of the Magic show. They did like it, I didn't need another. I got all the history I needed for the Lakers off season 1.
That shit was good, man. That's good for me.
I understood Jeannie Buss, Kareem. I got a better understanding of the whole organization. Like, look, it inspired me though, because look, that man bought a losing franchise that nobody wanted, and he's turned it around and was broke.
and it's the BS. With HBO Max, the Lakers series ended with the Celtics winning the championship, and rap shit ended with the white girl setting off into the spotlight. So it's like the protagonists have lost when these shows have ended. I don't like it. But I didn't see this movie.
I don't mind that.
Brittany on the cookies.
Oh, she got them Tiffany cookies.
I'm gonna order me something tomorrow.
Hey, no, we gotta go there when I'm down next when I'm down for my birthday. We stopping by there.
Bet.
I'm down next month. We all of us might hook up. We come. I'm celebrating my birthday in Atlanta next month.
Boom. Let's get it. Has anybody seen Book of Clarence? Does anybody
want to see the Book of Clarence? This was
I know, yeah.
It only did 4 million in the box office.
It did what?
4 million, and it cost 40 million to make. It is a absolute flop.
Yeah, that's worse than a flop. They can't even pay the crew.
I wanted to see it. I did want to see it. I still want to see it. It looked intriguing.
Was there enough like marketing behind it?
I knew about it. I won't say that.
Where is it? It's on the theater. Is it in the theater?
It's in the theaters now. They really. I think even looking at the marketing of it, I've seen the trailer 5 times and I have no clue what this movie is about. That is true. I watched him do a whole interview on Fox. He was in DC, did an interview on Fox News talking about the movie, and I still don't know what it's about. What I do want to see though is the Bob Marley movie. That comes out. That comes out February 14th.
Hold up! You're going too fast. We where were we at? So the Book of Clarence. Did anybody hear the soundtrack? There's a Jay-Z and D'Angelo, a 9-minute Jay-Z and D'Angelo song on the soundtrack.
Wow.
Got Lil Wayne, Shabba Ranks. It's a lot of different artists on there that you wouldn't expect. Shabba back. And I thought that this was going to be a big thing, but apparently I'm the only person that was curious about the movie. But I shared with you, Randy, my confusion because I sort of, so this dude is like, dude imitating Jesus and like what?
Yeah, that's what it felt like.
And then I saw a Jay-Z interview and I was like, that's not what it's about. So what the fuck is it about? And my man Smee went and was supposed to debrief and have a whole conversation about it, but Berger said he should have dropped it on Tubi. God damn.
My God.
Yeah, he just told me that I didn't even know Rupert Murdoch owns Tubi.
I didn't know that either.
I didn't know that either. Like that's a bomb. Like, but after watching Succession, it makes sense. You know what
and I mean? I really, I'm in season
two. Control the narrative, right?
I'm in season 2, so I'm actually enjoying Succession. I think you the one that told me about it, Randy. So I'm enjoying it.
It shows you how it's a true story of how media runs the world. Like the president called like these people. That's why people like my man why Bezos, he don't care about Amazon no more. He owned the Post. The Post is way more powerful to own than Amazon. Amazon just gives him money. The Post gives him power. Right?
It's a narrative.
It gives him power. Yep. It makes the president calls him on the phone now and be like, "Hey, can you drop this story?" You know what I mean? Because it's the news who picks the president.
That's a very
heard it hit. Tweet that. It's the news who picks the president.
And in music, aside from the Jay-Z D'Angelo song, anybody listen to 21 Savage? That's one of my favorites out of the young dudes. 21. His new album is out. I would recommend you guys pick that up. And what's going on in this game? Kansas City is now up by 3 points with 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Yeah, it looks like they may hold on and win this.
Hey, Mahomes, they just fumbled on the 1 yard line and got they got the ball back, but
I'm not even really paying attention because my Cowboys. Excuse me, I'm a Ravens fan now. Let me correct that. I'm a Ravens fan, and fuck the Cowboys. I'm tired of that shit and all that good stuff. Exactly. Britt, are you a Patriots fan? Don't you do all Boston teams?
No, I'm a Steelers fan.
Oh,
hey, all right. Shout out to
you and J. Lou. Yeah, so y'all mad at me because I'm a new Ravens fan as of like yesterday. So let's go, Ravens.
My boo is a Steelers fan, so I'm a Steelers fan by default now because of her.
Hey,
But you know what? I love Mike Tomlin though. Mike Tomlin, every time he talk, don't he feel like your dad talking to you or something? Like you just want to do. You just want to do whatever he's saying. Like he could literally make me run through a wall.
He's a respectable guy for sure.
All I want from Mike Tomlin, I want them to keep the same energy, because with him having never having a losing season in 17 years, now the narrative is, okay, he didn't lose, but he didn't win. And I'm like, you wouldn't say that you wouldn't be saying that if he was white. You'd be congratulating him on never having a losing season in his entire fucking career. I love Mike Tomlin.
And especially now, this season, like they've had, I mean,
it's a great comeback. I was at the Baltimore. I went to that game. I was out there freezing in the rain, watching them get in the playoffs. I went to that. Me and my baby, we went to that game. We saw that. We was out there watching that joint. But here's the thing though. The Steelers is such a solid organization. It don't even matter what the news say. You can they not gonna pay attention to what the news saying, what they say they should do with Tomlin and all that stuff. No, that's why they've only had 3 coaches in 27 years, right? Because they don't listen. They don't care what the media say or what people think. They are the most solid run organization in the whole NFL, in my opinion. Period. That's why they nobody's had less coaches than them, right? Like you had it was Bill Cowher. Who was before Bill Cowher? It's only 3: Chuck Noll, Bill Cowher, and now Mike Tomlin. How many other franchises can say that? None.
The Cowboys need to say it or need to do something. We should have had Mike Tomlin. I don't know why.
Harvey got you know y'all still they renewed. He back next year.
I know.
Just if you didn't.
I'm a Ravens fan now, so it don't even matter.
But Mike Sirianni got fired today. Eagles coach is out. Yeah.
Oh shit! I didn't know that.
Yeah, it happened while we was here. Somebody just texted me and said it while we was on the show that he got fired.
Oh dang! I thought they were saying my brother-in-law's Eagles fan.
I mean, they obviously he lost the locker room, because I don't know what happened to the Eagles. I don't know what happened.
Win 13 games and end like that. I call them the Sheagles. The Sheagles should be so ashamed of themselves.
Now, what you call the Commanders?
About to be winners.
Whatever. Yeah, I got but I don't think he going.
Yeah, we hired the best GM in the whole in the NFL. Like everybody been trying to get this man to leave San Francisco for years, and he would not leave. And he said, and they asked him, why did he leave? And he said, because if you look at the opportunity, he's like, the infrastructure here is to build something great. We got more draft picks, more money than we've ever had, and we cleaning out the closet. And then we got an owner now who's from here, who wants to restore. You know what I mean? So think about somebody, he grew up here and he just want the love back. He don't care about all that stuff. Like our last owner, he wanted to make money. This dude, now Josh want to make money too now. I mean, he's a billionaire, but he's from here. So he got hometown. And Magic been in the streets, like stuff that they ain't showing. Stuff that they don't show. You got to be here to see like what Magic doing on the, like they work Magic. They working him. Like Josh out, Magic in the streets. Like he be in the neighbor. He was
Let's go Commodores.
Yeah. He was at Baloo. You know what I'm saying? He hitting all the high schools. He in the neighborhoods. He in the projects. Like Magic is hitting the streets, and that's building stuff back.
Do y'all think Deion's gonna ultimately coach in the NFL?
Who?
Deion
Sanders.
Yeah.
Sure. It is he says he doesn't want to. He keeps saying he doesn't want to.
Deion love money.
They keep trying to talk him into it.
Deion love money. As soon as the price is right.
At the end of next year, when the Cowboys fire Mike McCarthy, hopefully they'll bring in Deion. He'll coach my Cowboys. I'm gonna have to holler at his people and like tell your dad to come to the Cowboys and figure it out. DeAndre, figure it out. But I hope so. One of my favorite players of all time, one of my favorite Cowboys of all time. Come back and save my team so I can stop being a Ravens fan.
Ravens gonna win the Super Bowl.
That's why I'm a Ravens fan. Shout out to the Ravens.
My Super Bowl MVP.
Sound good to me. I definitely want to thank my team of Avengers for assembling. We had Iron Man, the Incredible Hulk, Loki, Black Panther, and what we gonna call Brit? Who was Brit? Brit was what's my girl name? Margot, not Margot Robbie. My girl,
Black Widow.
Black Widow. That's right. And we got the Black Widow. So Avengers have assembled every week. I will have a different lineup of Avengers, and we will give you the best product that we can. I really enjoyed doing the show tonight. I loved it. J. Lou probably J. Lou and Britt probably two of my favorites. You know what I'm saying? But now, Rain, they got to throw you in there as one of them too, because you came in and did your thing. With my round of applause, a guy who never did a podcast before.
My first one.
Came in and showed out. Came in and showed out. Whoa, pause, whoa, wait a minute. We're not popping any men's cherries tonight, okay? Not gonna do that. But I definitely want to thank y'all for being here tonight, making the show everything that it was. And I want to thank you guys for listening. The whole damn Randy brought the whole family out. The whole family was here tonight listening to the damn podcast. And I want
everybody in the chat. You see?
Yeah.
My mother was here for a minute. She was in the joint for a minute. She said she had to go. She texted me. She dropped in. She didn't stay long. You know, she don't do Facebook like that.
Yeah.
She popped in though.
That's what's up. Y'all know the episode will be up first thing 5 a.m. in the morning. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Go to Apple Podcasts and like and subscribe. All that helps. That will change my $4 meta checks into $400 meta checks. And then I can start paying everybody. So please like and subscribe. And look for the clips dropping on Instagram all week. I'm going to chop up some of the stuff Randy said. I'm going to chop up Brittany and them damn cookies. Get the J-Lou chop up in there as well. And enjoy the rest of y'all night. If you're listening to this on Monday morning, have a great fucking day. Do the work to be the person that you want to be. Man up and woman up. And on that note, uno. Draw four, skip you, reverse you, mystery card, uno. I'm out. We out.
Peace.